Hello, welcome to Emma Finds, and this is part 2 of Florence's amazing food and experiences, including a wine tour and a golf cart tour, along with some other great experiences we had. We started the day at Basilica di Santa Croce, and this is the outside back area, which had amazing gardens. It was a beautiful day, as you can see, just to wander around and explore. There was a chapel that was the Pazzi's, who was the great rivals to the Medici family, which was really peaceful, but not very elaborate, as that wasn't their style. There was some nice walkways, and you could just spend a little time enjoying. As you can see, it's not actually that busy, so we got to spend a little while here. The rest of the day was spent on a unforgettable wine tasting tour, where we stopped at this beautiful village, which apparently has a population of about 170 people. So as you can see, it's very well preserved. We had a good little wander around. There's one shop, one restaurant / bar, and one hotel. So actually, they said that in the summer, the population goes up quite significantly because of the hotel. But yeah, you can see that it's really quaint village that we spent about, kind of 20 minutes, half an hour, just having a wander around and exploring. You can see there that it's right out in the countryside, in the Tuscan countryside. And we were with a tour group. It was about 18 of us. This is walking back from the village. It's on top of a hill. Walking back down, just in front of me, you can see part of my tour group. But yeah, we had a driver and a tour guide who were really knowledgeable about the area. They both lived in the area, which I think was really key. And the Chianti area is just beautiful. So yeah, you can see just how stunning the actual kind of views are there. And this is the first vineyard that we went to. The man was called Maurizio. He did a really good guy. The owner, he did a really good job of giving us a tour. We had, I think, 4 different wines. So we did try a rosé on this one. They gave us some food. But it was a really beautiful little family-run vineyard. And as you can see, the barrels here. And we had a chance to buy some produce, which I will show you what my haul was at the end. This is the second vineyard, which didn't actually get much footage of because we had a massive thunderstorm. But you can see again, very beautiful. And this is the where they keep all the wine in the casks, but they have concrete casks. The last vineyard, by which point fortunately the thunderstorm had stopped, was far more kind of upmarket vineyard, much bigger. Here's my little tour group. Much bigger, producing vineyard, and again, just a really beautiful estate. The house is owned as part of a vineyard, and it's by an American billionaire. It's owned by now, and that's been a recent change actually, and they apparently have done a lot of good to the actual vineyard and to the house. So just look at beautiful views back towards Florence, and these lemon trees in the garden, the fountains. You spent your time there thinking, oh, if I won the lottery. I think even if you won the majority of the lottery, you wouldn't have been able to afford this place. But a very nice place to spend about an hour at. We did get to go ahead and have a little look in the house. Here's that advert for the actual vineyard. And I'm not going to try and pronounce it. We came away with some olive oil and 4 bottles of wine, all of which were beautiful. The olive oil is still going about 3 months later. So the next day we went to the Mercado di Sant'Ambrogio, which is a big fresh produce market. It was very, very close to our Airbnb, and it was, again, just a really good experience. The food is so fresh over there. I don't think we had one bad meal, but as you can see, this is the outside area of the market, and there's pretty much everything you could possibly want. A bit of Italian hand speaking there in this part of the video, which is amazing. But yeah, from cheese, meat, vegetables, fruit, everything you can pretty much get here. And also I think inside, which you'll see in a minute, they have you know, kind of places where you can buy ready-made food, but everything was so fresh, and you just really couldn't get a bad meal from a restaurant. So we decided to get a little picnic from here to take back to Airbnb, which you should have seen in part one. And here's an inside counter. We did fresh pasta as well. See, we've got some lovely cheese and ham, tomatoes, olives. The olives were amazing. Bread and some, nice Prosecco. So yeah, you can just see how fresh and lovely everything is. From here, the next evening, I think the next day, we went to a pizzeria, which was again really close to our Airbnb, Lupo y Grando, and I had actually a Caesar salad which was in like a pizza bowl, which was really nice, so you could use to tear off and dip it in. So really, really nice meal there, so would recommend. And it was in a nice street, and it was again lovely weather. We were very lucky in April. It was about Easter holidays time when we went, and we enjoyed that a lot. So the next day we went on an eco golf buggy tour, and our driver was called Noberto. He picked us up, and this is the beginning of the tour. This is the Basilica di Santa Cruz again, but from the outside, which showing you. I showed you the back at the beginning of the video, and there's usually a big market here, which is more less produce and more kind of touristy, a lot of touristy souvenirs, if I'm honest. But some of the leather stuff that you can get is really good. This church is very beautiful. It's the same kind of style as the Duomo, but just less well known. This is Noberto, or great guy. They had like info paying through the speakers in the golf cart, but yeah, and you can actually get some quite big pace going on there. When you go up out of the city to get a view, you were able to actually go in quite quickly, but it was a really enjoyable way of seeing the city a little bit more, because we walking around when it's quite busy and quite hot, you don't get to see, like you say, all the different sides of the city. You can see there's a couple of stalls there, but there's some restaurants and cafes there that were a really nice view. So yeah, driving down, you just see the beautiful streets. That is the Duomo in front of us, the Duomo. And you can we went past there. There's some nice shops. He was talking about that being the area where all the designer shops are. And then we went down past the Ponte Vecchio bridge and over the other bridge, which you can drive over here to get to the other side of Florence. This bridge you can get a very good view of the Ponte Vecchio bridge there. You can see you'll be able to see in a minute. But yeah, they have a kind of standard route which they take. That's the Ponte Vecchio bridge in the background there. And we actually did stop here behind that white golf buggy to take some photos. Then you head up and out of the city, and as you can see here, it's very leafy and green up there, which was nice. And you can just see it poking through, that you start getting a view of Florence. And there's a big Palazzo di Michelangelo, where a lot of people go for sunset and just coming into that palazzo now. And there are food places and places you can grab a drink, and there are some touristy souvenir kind of market stalls there as well. but you can see all of the mountains in the background. It really is Florence is really in a lovely area in terms of where it's located in Tuscany. You very quickly get out of the city and into some nice green and leafy areas. As you can see, these are the touristy market stalls. Some of them were less touristy and might have, let's say, some leather goods or paintings and things, art and things like that. But majority it would be be seeing the same thing on most of the stalls. So yeah, we spent a little bit of time here, probably about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And this is the view that you get from up there, which I think is just amazing and beautiful. The Domo in the background there, and the hills. We really enjoyed it. And we did stop off a little bit further on the way down. You can see again the Domo in the background there. And the Santa Cruz is the one in the forefront. Which we had so we had a bit of time. He did stop for us for different things, including a spot where we could look at these ducklings in this really beautiful little pool. Look how clear that water is, and so it's like a little waterfall. It looks like it's man-made, but yeah, there was a mummy duck and a few ducklings. So Roberto kindly stopped so that we could go and have a look, and yeah, this was very peaceful actually. Very beautiful place, and you can walk up to the Palazzo di Michelangelo. At that, we could just see somebody up there and there, just at the top of that screen. So you can walk up there, but it is a bit of a hike. And as I say, we were very lucky with the weather when we were there because it was sometimes 27 and it was very humid. Look at that little duckling. It was very, very cute, and we just wanted to have a little bit of a break. And like I say, the views from here are really, really amazing. Looking down on the city, I would definitely recommend it as something to do. So then we headed back down, and this is one of the old city wall, part of the old city walls that you can see in front of me here. And we're going along the other side of the river, the side of the river, Palazzo di Michelangelo. There.
Oh, yeah. Nice little fountain.
And you can just see so we're still on that side now, but you can just see all of the old buildings on the side on the other side of the river. The Medici's actually had a walkway across the river on the Ponte Vecchio bridge, so they didn't have to walk with everybody else to get to their kind of summer residence. So the amount of history there is pretty amazing. For one of our final meals in Florence, we decided to go to this local restaurant and have another steak. As if you'd seen part one, we went and had a brilliant steak in another restaurant earlier in the week. We were very sad to be leaving and thought we needed to get this steak in one last time. The steak which is a Florentine steak, is usually quite a big bone-in steak, so you pick it up based on its weight when you're there. So we had picked quite a large steak. Again, I think if you watched the first one, you'll know that it was about 1.7 kilograms, the steak that we had in the previous restaurant, but my partner is able to polish that off. I wouldn't say easily, but is able to. So I have a little bit and he usually has the majority. And here you can see the steak that we picked in this restaurant. I think we've gone a little bit smaller this time, even though it doesn't look it. We had a nice glass of red wine. Those potatoes were amazing. And yeah, it was a really nice atmosphere in this restaurant. The service was great. So yeah, I definitely recommend this as a place to go. It wasn't as busy as maybe some of the more kind of touristy places that serves the steak. And yeah, definitely recommend. And the last thing we did before we left was go and get ourselves a nice gelato. We had been having gelatos from this place near our accommodation pretty much every night, but when in Rome / when in Florence. So yeah, that was the last night. I hope you've enjoyed this part 2 of my Florence travel vlog, and if you have, please subscribe, very appreciated, and also like, comment and share. As always, I hope to see you on the next one.